Hello again, and thanks for joining me here at Knowledge the Learning Zone, an educative channel created to give explanations to topics in the most easy, understandable, and knowledgeable manner. I am Husseina Adeumi, your facilitator for bio-related topics, and right now the topic is microorganisms. I'll be taking a view into the definition of microorganisms. I'll also be discussing the various types of microorganisms. And since microorganisms are ubiquitous organisms, that means they can be found everywhere, which are, like, take for example, they can be found inside water, inside the food, even in the air, on top of surfaces, inside and outside of humans or human organisms, or even plant organisms, so to say, and every other animals have these microorganisms either inside of them or outside of them. While some of these organisms are harmful in nature and they are termed as pathogenics, others are beneficial in nature, and such types are called probiotics. Just like we do here at Knowledge Learning Zone, where we give justice to topics, that is what I intend doing by using the following slides. So please come with me as I do so. I welcome you to the educative channel, the Knowledge Learning Zone. The topic of our discussion is microorganisms, and the various keywords are probiotics, pathogens, prokaryotes, and eukaryotes. Microorganisms are called microbes or microscopic organisms. The word microscopic is derived from two Greek words, micros, which means small, and scopio, which means look. Majorly, microorganisms, which are ubiquitous in nature, are usually too small to be seen with the naked eyes, except with the use of hand lens or microscopes such as the light and electron microscope. The word ubiquitous means being found everywhere, such as inside water, in the air, in food, on surfaces, inside and outside plants and animals, such as even inside and outside humans. These organisms can be found. They are divided into three domains. The first is archaea. They are usually extremophiles. They are found in extremely cold or extremely hot environments or highly salty environments, as the case may be. There's also the bacteria, and the third being eukarya. The word eu means true, while karya means nucleus. Hence, eukaryotic organisms, they have true nucleus, while archaea and bacteria are both prokaryotic in nature. That means they do not have true nucleus. The method employed in the laboratory for growing microorganisms using special media such as nutrient agar or nutrient broth is called culturing. In this case, an aseptic technique is used whereby the organisms is first introduced into the nutrient agar or nutrient broth, which are poured inside either a petri dish or a test tubes. They are now incubated and allowed to grow. Then later on, they can be counted using turbidity method or using serial dilution method. The study of microorganisms is called microbiology, while scientists that study microorganisms are called microbiologists. The various types of microorganisms are 5. There is the virus, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and last but not the least, there is the algae. A virus is considered as a borderline between a living and a non-living organisms. It consists nucleic acid, which is either deoxyribonucleic acid or ribonucleic acid, and a protein coat. It is a borderline because outside a living host, a virus is crystalline in nature and therefore it is non-living. But inside a living host, it can replicate. That means it can reproduce and multiply, which is a characteristic of a living thing. And viruses are so small that a light microscope cannot be used to view them except an electron microscope. Examples of virus, we have the coronavirus, the Ebola virus, there's human immunodeficiency virus, that's HIV. There's also the human papilloma virus, that's a virus that causes cancer. And viruses generally are actually they are parasitic in nature. There are also some viruses that affect bacteria. Those ones are called bacteriophages. So among all microorganisms, the virus is actually the most harmful of them all. The second type of microorganism is the bacteria. They are prokaryotes, and they do not have true nucleus. They are also well known and they appear in clusters or colony. They can be seen with the aid of a light microscope. That means they are not as small as the virus. And a diagram of a bacterium here, which is an archaea bacterium, shows that it has a capsule which is slimy in nature. It may be present or it may be absent, but there will always be a cell wall. There's a cell membrane, there's a ribosome, there's a chromosome that contains a deoxyribonucleic acid. There's also a flagellum that propels the organism to move forward once it is whipped. And note that there are bacteria that are beneficial in nature. Those are called probiotics bacteria, e.g. the lactobacillus species that helps in making yogurt, or Rhizobium leguminosaureum that fixes nitrogen into the soil that the leguminous plants makes use of. There are also some that are harmful in nature. Those ones are called the pathogenic bacteria. They cause disease. They are disease-causing organisms. E.g., we have the Salmonella typhi causing typhoid. There's Mycobacterium tuberculosis. That is an organism that causes tuberculosis. There's also Staphylococcus aureus that causes boil. Here's the types of bacteria based on 3 categories. The first is based on shape. There are 4 types. The coccus, which is spherically shaped. There's a bacillus, it has rod-like in shape. It is rod-like in shape. There's a vibrio, it's comma in shape. There's a spirillum, which is spiral in shape. Based on oxygen requirements, aerobic bacteria are bacteria that grow in oxygen-rich environments. Obligate anaerobes are bacteria that do not grow in oxygen-rich environments, hence they do not require oxygen for their growth. While facultative anaerobic bacteria are bacteria that grow either in oxygen environment or environment that does not have oxygen, that is either in oxygen-rich environment or environment that does not have oxygen. The third type of bacteria is based on cell wall, which are gram-positive or gram-negative bacteria. Such as all of the gram-positive bacteria contains a moiety called peptidoglycans. That's peptido, that's peptides, that's a combination of 2 or more amino acids, and then the glycans, which is glucose. While the gram-negative bacteria, they do not have peptidoglycans. Instead, they have pseudoglycans. Pseudo means false. Now, once they are stained, gram-positive bacterium are purple in color, while the gram-negative bacterium are red in color. Here's a slide that shows the various types of bacteria based on their shapes. The coccus, which are spherical in shape, an example is Streptococcus pneumonia. That's an organism that causes pneumonia. Based on rod-like shape, that's bacillus, there is the Bacillus subtilis. And based on comma shape, that's the vibrio, there is the vibrio cholera. That's an organism that causes cholera. Then based on Coccobacillus, that's combination of coccus and that's spherical and rod-like shape, that's bacillus together. We have Streptonemma pallidum, an organism that causes syphilis. Then spirillum are spiral shaped bacterium that they are rigid, they are not motile, and their flagellum are internal. Yes, and an example is Helicobacter pylori, that's an organism that causes ulcer. Last but not least is the Spirochaete, which is also spirally shaped. e.g. is Haemophilus influenza. They are motile and they have flagella outside their body. The next microorganisms, which is the third type, is the fungi. They are eukaryotes, that's organisms that have true nucleus. And some of them are found in colonies, and they can actually be visible to the human eye, e.g. the mold that grows on bread. Fungi can be splitted into 3 main categories or groups. The first is the molds, which are thread-like or they have filamentous growth, and they also have multicellular structures. The second is yeast. They are non-filamentous in nature, and they have single cell, that's unicellular. While the third is mushroom. They possess fruiting body for sporulation. The next microorganism, which is the fourth type of microorganism, is the protozoan. They are examples of protists, that's organisms that belong to kingdom Protista. They are unicellular eukaryotes. That means they are not plants, animals, or fungi. They are very diverse in nature. well, because they stand as backbone of many food webs by providing nutrients for other organisms. Examples are euglena, there's the amoeba, there's also the plasmodium, there's paramecium. Please, what do you have noticed plasmodium here, which is a parasite that causes malaria, and the vector is female Anopheles mosquito. Yes. Another example we see here is trypanosoma, which causes sleeping sickness. The last but not the least type of microorganism is the algae. They are either prokaryotic or eukaryotic in nature. They are typically photosynthesizers, that's the autotrophic they have autotrophic mode of nutrition. Please, if you have not watched the video on nutrition, you do well to do so. That means organisms that synthesize their food by themselves, and they are found in marine environment, so to say. Example, we have the Chlamydomonas, Spirogyra, there's Volvox, there's Spongy, there's Oscillatoria, and so on and so forth. Now, this organism from the word for photosynthesis, that means they use sunlight to produce their own food by themselves. Now, here is the categories of microorganisms. The first is the probiotics. These are beneficial microorganisms. They are organisms that are of good benefits to human, plants, or animals, e.g. the lactobacillus species. There's a beef that's they are helpful in making yogurt. There's a bifidobacterium bifidum. They are found in guts. They aid in digestion for the infants, that's babies. Then there's the Saccharomyces, especially the Saccharomyces cerevisiae, that's yeast. They help in alcohol production or even in baking. The second category is pathogens, which are harmful in nature, causing illness, e.g. Salmonella typhi, there's Ebola virus, coronavirus, and so on and so forth. Here are the beneficial roles of microorganisms. First, some bacteria fix nitrogen in plants, e.g. the Rhizobium leguminosaureum. Yes. The second, they are also saprophytic bacteria, which aids in the composition of dead organic matter. The third is that they are used for the manufacturing of vaccines and antibodies, e.g. the penicillin, which is a fungi, is used as antibiotics. That's especially against bacteria. Then the fourth, yeast is used in making of alcoholic drinks. While the last one here says that some bacteria are used for making yogurt. Now here we're looking at the lactobacillus species of bacterium. They are helpful in making yogurts. So this, another that does this are called probiotics from the previous slides. Now here are the harmful rules of a microorganism. They cause food spoilage. They cause materials to deteriorate also. They are disease-causing agents. Yes, worthy of note here is the coronavirus, which of recent is a pandemic organism that causes COVID-19. They also cause the death of plants and animals. Now, what are carriers of microorganisms? A carrier is an agent who harbors the pathogenic organisms without suffering from its disease. So, two types. We have the non-living, such as food, water, air, that's the non-living carriers, and then there is the living carriers, such as animals, e.g. such animals are called vectors, e.g. the female Anopheles mosquito. This is the question session. You can go ahead and pause it and answer them. The first says, what are microorganisms? Second, with appropriate examples, mention 3 types of microorganisms. Third, what are vectors? Fourth, mention the 3 classes of bacteria. Fifth, describe the structure of a bacterium. Sixth, what are protists? And seventh, what is culturing? Please pause and answer this. Welcome to the answer section. I hope the question session was interesting and you were able to attempt the 7 questions correctly. Thumbs up for that. Now here are the answers for the questions earlier asked. The first answer is that organisms that are majorly too small for the naked eyes to view except with the aid of a microscope, which is either an electron microscope or a light microscope, are called microorganisms. And they are of 5 types. There's the virus, bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and algae. The third answer says that animal agents that carry pathogenic organisms are called vectors. Yes, examples here we have female Anopheles mosquito, which carries plasmodium that causes malaria. There's also the tsetse fly that carries trypanosoma that causes sleeping sickness. Also, there is housefly that carries the bacteria that's Vibrio cholera that causes cholera, and so on and so forth. Now, bacteria are divided into various types based on either oxygen requirements. Those are the aerobic bacteria, the facultative bacteria, and the obligate bacteria, or based on shape. That's the cocci, the bacillus, the vibrio, and the spirillum, or based on the content of the cell wall, which are gram-positive or gram-negative bacterium. Now, the fifth answer says that these are prokaryotes with slime. Okay, that's the structure of the bacterium, that they are prokaryotes with slimy capsule, which is either present or not, but they will always have a cell wall, cell membrane, cytoplasmic granules, and nuclear material. Then the sixth answer says that they are eukaryotes and diverse in nature. That's protists. They are eukaryotic in nature and they are diverse in nature. Seventh, the procedure employed in the laboratory for growing microorganisms using sterile medium is called culturing. Wow, thank you so much for learning here. We love you so much. Please subscribe. Well done. Thank you so much for working so hard. I do hope the question section was interesting. While I'm affirmative that most of your answers were correct. Thumbs up for that. Just as we do at Knowledge Learning Zone, we give justice to topics, and now you have a clear picture of what microorganisms are all about. The various types of microorganisms. You also see that while some microorganisms are pathogenic in nature, that means they are harmful, others are actually of benefits to man. So go ahead and write down your comments down in the comment section, your questions. If there are topics that you need right away on the channel, why not? We'll be so delighted to have them. Please go ahead and write them down. Don't forget to click on the subscription box and also on the notification bell so that you'll be notified of other videos coming up on this channel. Please continue to stay healthy, stay safe, and most importantly, stay knowledgeable. We call it a day from here. I'll catch you on other videos. Bye for now.